Hello, everyone, and welcome to Finding Your Financial Voice podcast with me, your host, Anita R. Johnson. The mission of this podcast is to give you sound financial tips that you can implement immediately, allowing you to leave a legacy for your family. Oh, today we have a special guest, and if you haven't been seeing a lot of it, I have been seeing a lot of it where people don't have enough life insurance to bury themselves, right? Or even to pass on as a legacy. And you know this show, and you know what I'm all about is about leaving a legacy. So we're going to have a good time today. We got about 30 to 40 minutes with this great woman. Her name is Shelia Tyson, and I met Shelia years and years ago. We won't say how many years, but I met her, and I've known that she is an advocate for life insurance. She is definitely an advocate for life insurance. And she has various insurances and retirement annuities, IRAs, indexes, universal life, so forth, and whole life. Well, welcome, Shelia.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, we're excited about having you here. You know, the recent outpour or the recent deaths and people being on social media asking for help, GoFundMe funds and all kinds of different kinds of funds so that people can bury their loved ones is just amazing to me. Have you seen an uptick, or is it just something that's kind of new or what?
Well, GoFundMe have been around for a while now. And like I tell people, GoFundMe is not a life insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
And so lately I have been noticing that we have seen a lot of GoFundMe. So whenever you see those GoFundMe funds, it means that was lack of preparation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, one of the things it says in your bio is you ensures that your clients are easily equipped to make informed decisions about what product that they want, insurance or either retirement needs. And you love educating people about the noise surrounding the insurance market. What are some of the noises around the insurance market?
Well, a lot of times people are confused as to what to buy from themselves because they get a lot of advertising in the mail. They see a lot of advertisement on the television, and they really don't know what that product really is. They look at the price. For instance, they'll see $9.99 per month. Well, think about that. The insurance company is a for-profit organization.
Correct.
So if I'm almost 70 years old, you almost 80, and somebody else is 60, you don't really think that they're going to give you a policy of $20,000, $10,000 for $9.99. It's $9.99 per unit, per thousand.
Wow. So those products may be good for people, or they may not be good for people.
They may be good.
It just depends.
It all depends. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
When you see on television, they say guaranteed issue. And you get them in the mail and it says guaranteed issue. I sell guaranteed issue. Mm-hmm. The problem is you have to be very careful with that. So okay. I'll give you an example. If there's nothing wrong with a person, let's just say they have the health challenge of diabetes, high blood pressure, and cholesterol, and they go into a guaranteed issue product, and then they pass away in the 5th month or even in the 15th month of that policy. Well, the family will only be returning, they will return premium to the loved one, plus a little interest sometimes. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that if they had took the time and talked to an agent such as myself, we would have found out their health challenges, and 99.9% of the people I talk to, I could get them first day coverage. You always want first day coverage. Now, all policy have a 2-year contestable period. So what does that mean? That means that the insurance company reserved the right to make sure that all the truth was told to get that policy. For instance, they don't want to give you somebody an insurance policy, first day coverage, and then find out they die in the 14th month and find out that person has some serious health challenge. So they leave that 2-year contestable period there.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying, so let me understand. So, because I want our listeners to understand, and I know, this is a short period of time, and they will definitely, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to have you give out your information so they can call you to make sure. But when you purchase a policy, like maybe any policy, the one that you offer, or the $9.99 policy or whatever, right? And they say guaranteed issue, you're saying that yes, it's guaranteed issue, but if you die within a certain period of time, they're only going to get the premium back. Is that kind of what you're saying, or what?
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're correct. It's called the return of premium.
Okay.
Now, those are not bad policies. Understand me. Those are not bad policies. They're advertising correctly. The problem is a lot of people see and hear what they want to hear, because most people just think about it. That if I called in and I'm 68 years old and I'm calling in for a $20,000 life insurance policy, whole life, even term for that, it's not going to be $9.99 a month. Now, here's the challenge I'll throw out. If anybody in your listening audience could find the insurance company that's doing that, I want them to contact me so I could get appointed with them.
Wow. Okay, good. So that's really interesting, because they all, you see some of these commercials on television or hear it on podcasts or whatever you want, and then they say, guaranteed issue, blah blah blah, but everything is guaranteed issue according to what you're saying.
No, well, what you mean everything is guaranteed?
Well, each policy, they're going to pay you no matter what.
Oh, you talking about the ones that you see on television, guaranteed issue?
Well, when they say guaranteed issue, does that mean they're going to pay it anyway?
Guaranteed issue means they ask no health challenges questions.
I got you. Okay.
So everybody going to get guaranteed issue. So if the person dies within that 2-year time frame, their loved ones or the beneficiary will only receive what they put into that policy and return a premium, and sometimes a little interest rate. If they pass away after 3 years, they get that full amount.
Oh, okay. All right. So now I'm understanding, and now the listeners are probably understanding it too as well, because we want to make sure that the listeners, understand this, because it's such a delicate subject, especially in the community, the Black community. Do you find it's different for other communities as it is for the African American community as far as insurances are concerned?
As I'm starting to get more and more other people calling me, I'm learning, and they telling me that they need the education just like Afro-Americans. Because the insurance and what finance as a whole to some people is such a big mystery. And a lot of people, we don't like to talk about money, and we do not like to talk about life insurance, because most people think of death when you think of life insurance.
Right, exactly.
They immediately start singing those hymns in their mind. They don't think about living.
Right. And that's the truth. They don't, when we think about, I guess, as anybody would think about life insurance as, okay, it's not for me, so why should I buy it? It's expensive. It's not for me. And I guess it kind of depends on what policy you get to as well. It's not for me. Why should I pay into it? But we don't realize that life insurances, or the products that you actually can recommend to somebody once you see what they need, is a legacy building process too.
Correct. It's a legacy building. But here's another thing. A lot of people have mortgages and even rent. We don't think about mortgage protection and rent protection. And so what do I mean by that? You have a job.
Right.
And let's say you come down with a chronic illness, even terminal illness. We have now on policy what we call living benefits. And if you come down sick, your mortgage and your rent still must be paid.
Right.
And there's not too many jobs that's going to give you your full pay. So if you was just barely making it when you was working, making the mortgage payment and rent payment, what's going to happen if you have to be bedridden for about 9 months or 10 months.
Wow.
So there are policies out there that people could get that have what we call living benefits, and they could accelerate that policy and get some money while they are still alive. That's why I say life insurance is more than death insurance. I'm not quite sure how we even came up with always equating it with death. It says life insurance. It does not say death insurance. In fact, I named it love insurance.
Love insurance.
Love insurance. If you love me, leave me make me your beneficiary. Keep the diamond ring, baby. Give me the policy.
I love it. You say it's love insurance. I have some love insurance for my kids.
I have some love insurance too, but you know what? I'm always open to being a beneficiary on some policies.
I heard that. Me too, Sheila. Me too. Me too. Yeah, just somebody knock in my door and say somebody left me something. Okay.
Okay. Listen, you know what, Anita? You know what I tell people? I've been doing this since 2005, and unfortunately, I've had a lot of clients pass on. But I've had a lot of clients that their loved one received their benefits. I have yet to run in or listen to one person call me up on the phone and say, I want to return this money. It was too much. You shouldn't have left them. You should have told them. Mama shouldn't have left me this, or my husband left me too much. I have yet one person.
I don't think anybody would do that. She through their tears and their snot and this and blah blah blah. They gonna be looking for that check.
Listen, let me say this to you. I always say most people do not, especially when I first started. People was shunning me. They didn't want to hear about my life insurance business. And most people do not want to talk to me or a person like me, the insurance agent. Oh, but let something happen in the wee hours. They want to call me before they call their bishop, rabbi, priest, and they better sure enough call me before they call that funeral home. Because guess what? They're gonna be asking about this. How you gonna pay?
And you know what? That's the truth. Because when my mother died, right? Well, before my mother died, she had already told us that she had an insurance policy, right? And when she died, I was like, "Where's that policy at?"
That's the first thing people, through their tears, they be looking for that policy.
That's the truth. You telling the truth. Now let's talk about, because that brings up an interesting conversation, because we can underinsure ourselves as well, and that can be just as bad as no insurance.
Right.
Can you speak to that a little bit? I know everybody's different, and you'd have to look at everybody's financial situation and that kind of stuff. So what is it that we do to underinsure ourselves?
Okay, I'll give you a good example. Sometimes when people call me and they says, how much? And remember, I need to know you, talk to you, find out how old you are, your height, weight, medication, all that. I already know what kind of way this conversation is going to go. And then they'll tell me, I just want to leave just enough to be buried, just enough. Well, I'm not a just enough agent.
Go on, Sheila.
So I interview you and I let them talk, and then I tell them, we say we love our family. There's nothing wrong with leaving your grandchildren or your loved ones some money behind. Nothing wrong with you leaving, even, and then could be controversial, your church or some organization some money behind.
Right.
5%, 10%. And don't say that your son or your daughter are gonna pay your tithes.
Because that ain't gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. That's not.
But I know I wouldn't. I'm just gonna be true.
Oh, listen to you. We have to get on that just enough mentality. Because let me tell you something.
Right.
When a person passes away, that's not the end of the story. And in my mind, financially and spiritually. But there's bills. There's people that you left behind. Let's just say that you was even in an apartment and it took both of you all to pay that rent. at least leave your wife or the other person a year's worth of monthly payments so they can figure out, figure out what they're gonna do. So that just enough mentality, just enough to cremate me, just enough to put me in that mentality. I try to get that out of people's mind, and usually I'm pretty successful because I'm making it human. People don't think it's just the way we always thought about it like that. And I'm like, it's this is not just about you. Your death affects somebody. If it's no more than your wife, your children, and I'm always now really baffled about, especially how many young people that you see all these young people dying, heart attack, strokes at an alarming rate. We're gonna get into COVID. Right. And you have 2 or 3 little children and a wife. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? But here's the thing. What is the other spouse thinking? I think that when you're in a marriage situation, both of them better be asking questions. But in my opinion, especially the wife, because usually the man is the breadwinner.
Correct. Yeah.
So you need to be asking questions.
Yeah. And, I can recall having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine where her husband didn't even have her on his not life insurance, his health insurance, because it was too high for him to have. So he didn't have any burial or any life insurance or love insurance, as you call it, for her, if he didn't even think enough of her to have health insurance for her. Yeah. So,
and sometimes people tell me that before they even start talking to me, they'll say, well, life insurance is too expensive. I said, not as expensive as it's going to be if you pass away without it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I understand. And then, there's so many different policies out there, and it does have to fit that person's financial plan, their family, their assets, whatever that might be. It does have to fit that. Is there such a thing as self-insurance? Meaning that you earn so much money that you do not think that you need to have any life insurance, a love insurance, as you call it?
Well, I'll put it like this, and I know some well-off people, but I haven't met anyone that, at least most of the people that call me, that are in a position to talk about self-insurance.
Okay.
And here you have to look at some of your most richest people have life insurance and believe in life insurance, and that's a whole new subject that we could get in. How people use life insurance to pay inheritance tax and all that. That's a whole different
that's subject. Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting topic.
But when you people talk about their budget. If they come to me, I don't let people overspend. I'm going to work within your budget. If you say you can only spend $20 a month, I'm going to show you what $20 a month. And I'm going to tell you, then we need to work it up from there. This is why I don't let people overspend with me, because the only one that's going to win agent and of course the insurance company. Because if you pay 5, 6, 7 months, 8, 9, 10 months, or a year or 2 years, then you just lapse it because it was already too expensive. In my opinion, if it was me that did it, I just did you a disservice.
Okay.
Right. You want to buy something that that after you pay your rent, most people like to eat, most people like to take a shower, they like lights on. So you don't want to overspend, because you could always go back and buy another policy in many years you could afford. So you don't have to buy all off at one time, especially if that's your first policy.
Okay. Well, great. Well, if you have just joined us, we are talking with Shelia Tyson, an insurance agent. Shelia, what is your title?
You just said it.
Okay. All right.
I am the proud life insurance agent. I don't give myself no fancy title. I'm not an investment counselor or anything like that. I am the proud life insurance agent.
All right then. Yeah, we have been talking to the proud life insurance agent, Shelia L. Tyson. And this is Finding Your Financial Voice podcast with me, your host, Anita R. Johnson. We're going to take a few minutes here, let Shelia get her breath, because we got more questions for her. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Money Wisdom for Women is having another membership drive, and you don't want to miss it. During the entire month of September, you can register to become a member of Money Wisdom for Women. Founder Anita R. Johnson created Money Wisdom for Women membership to equip women with wealth building skills, allowing them to leave a legacy for their children. Signing up for membership is easy. Go to www.moneywisdomforwomen.com to sign up for these life-changing services today.
All right, we're back with our special guest, Shelia Tyson, proud life insurance agent. And Shelia, let's talk about COVID for a minute. You know, all this thing's been going on with COVID, and people been dying. You know, people dying, or either they live and then they have everlasting or effects behind that. How does that work? How's that going to work now that we have that? Because we didn't have that before. How's that work in the life insurance?
Okay, good question. A lot of people, as you know, have come down with COVID. Why they have COVID, or they just got over COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a lot of people that won't call at all because they feel like since they had COVID, they're uninsurable. And they get their advice from somebody else that's not an insurance agent.
Wow.
So yes, while you are suffering from COVID, I can't do anything for you, and especially if you're in the hospital. Most insurance company will look at you, the person, after 90 days and to evaluate. So when people say that I had COVID and I never could get life insurance, that's not true. Because there again, if they have some serious lingering illness and they have no life insurance, then yes, I'm going to take you to a guaranteed issue because that's better than nothing.
Right.
And that means 2 years. We're going to pray that you live past those 2 years so you get the full face amount.
Okay. All right. You know, because I suffer from asthma. And I always get, when I was trying to get the insurance, that was part of, my medical part of it. If they have COVID or they have some pre-existing condition, so to speak, is it a myth you pay more, or is it a myth you do pay more?
Well, yeah, it could be rated up. Now, remember who we're dealing with. We are not dealing with a charitable organization. I tell people all the time, the life insurance industry is for profit.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing charitable about the life insurance industry. Let me be just clear. So if you have certain ailment and then they give it to you, like you're gonna pay more for a guaranteed issue, but they have what they call rated up. But let me just say this too. Whenever you're talking to a life insurance agent and you want them to help you, whenever you call me, I need for you to just be truthful. Tell me the truth, and then I know how to help you. Because sometimes I ask people, what part you did not understand when I told you that the life insurance company will check your medical information bureau report, MIB, we all have them, or the prescription check. And in that report, it tells, how can some people forget some of the serious health challenges? You come to me and you leave out a major factor. The insurance company is going to find out about it.
Yeah, because they do ask you that on that questionnaire, or they're gonna ask you about your doctor who you have, and they're gonna get all of that kind of stuff. So that's not something that you have to leave, that you can leave out.
You can't leave it out. I mean, the insurance company is gonna find it. And remember I talked about the 2-year contestable? Let's just say, for argument, it slips by. Well, your family probably still not gonna get that money, because remember, they have that time frame. They go back and they could get an APS, attending physician statement from your doctor. They'll go back to the MIB board and look at it real closely. They're gonna put their glasses on and they're gonna read that thing real good. So, and I always tell people, just tell me the truth. I'm on the client side. I want my clients to get paid. I say it all the time. I say it on the Facebook. It's time for us to get some of those insurance dollars. But let's just get it the honest and truthful way.
I love this conversation. Tell us, what type of customer, person, are you looking for?
Breathing.
Breathing out. You say breathing.
Breathing. It's true. I cater to more people, the senior like me, over 50. But I see now there are so many young people that need the education. So even if a young person call me, I might turn them on to another, because young people relates to young people.
Right,
so
right.
I know some fine young agents coming. I mean, they don't even work for me. I just want to do what's right. We want our community insured, and especially young people. Young people relate to young people. It's one thing for this old woman to sit up here and tell somebody that's 29 years old.
That's true.
But I could bring them somebody else their age, and they're gonna listen to them. But in my case, just as long as they breathe and tell them, give them my number.
Well, you did say you was gonna bring the comedian Shelia with you.
Oh, yeah. I really try to be serious, but I think that when you're talking about life insurance, I always thought that it does not have to be a gloomy conversation.
Yes.
You know, it does not have to be
Yes.
one of them little hymns type conversation.
Right.
We're not gonna talk about death. We're gonna talk about
life. Yeah.
We're gonna talk about somebody getting paid.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about life, love, and you know, that is a good way to look at it, because that's what I look at too when I start talking about finances with people, you know, because that, I mean, and love insurance is part of finances, right? Because you know, you get the people that say, hey, it's too much, or you get the people that say, hey, I just give me enough, or you know, or you might get some that want to underinsure, overinsure, or they thinking, okay, well, you know, I don't want to leave anything because I'm mad with them, and you know, all that kind of stuff, right? All of the and so it should be a conversation that is light but serious.
Let me just throw this, like, I don't know how much time we have. Here's another situation, a problem I see. A couple buy a very expensive home in some of these suburbs, and it doesn't have to be very expensive, but it takes 2 checks and a half to make the mortgage, to pay for the 2 BMWs, the Mercedes. Everybody in the house have cell phones, flat screen TVs, or even in the bathroom. Okay, so usually, most time when I sit down with people, it's the husband that's the breadwinner. So I always look to the wife. And I tell the wife, I said, now listen, the husband is the breadwinner. Can you afford this if something happens to him? And they go, no. So we're saying you got a $700,000 mortgage. Sweetheart, you need to do the math. You're talking about $100,000 life insurance policy.
Yeah, that ain't gonna help.
He passed away tonight. You're gonna have to move, Sister Boo. Or you're gonna have to move in all your relatives that you don't want to. And believe me, on Friday nights, the police gonna be there once a month, because there's gonna be somebody in that crew that don't pay their part that they supposed to pay.
That's true.
You could avoid all that with a mortgage protection life insurance policy.
Right. I love it, Shelia. I absolutely love it. You are so telling the truth. This is something that we need to have a continuous conversation about. And it might be, is there, you know how we have like History Month, we have Financial Month. Is there an Insurance Month as well?
September. I put things on Facebook every September about Life Insurance Awareness Month. However, let's be clear about me. I tell them every month is life insurance. Life insurance awareness. Okay. Every day I'm trying to make people aware about life insurance, because it's such a powerful financial tool. Right. Most of our people, we do not have the money. And so we have to be real. This is the best way to pass a legacy on.
I love it. Yeah. And, you know, one of the conversations, you know, that we can have that, you know, I'll probably have you back in September, or maybe have you we do here at the office, we do every 3rd Wednesday conversation, and we can do it virtual, no big deal. Right. Is you know, how to pay for, you know, and how to pay the life insurance for the estate taxes for the wealthy. So, you know, and I'm always I want everybody to have a legacy and pass on. And this is a way, you know, I want us to talk about that the next time you and I get together and talk about this as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And And to be honest, on some of that, I know some investment people that might even be best than myself to talk about that.
Okay. Even
I'm
better.
one of those, when people ask me legal advice and certain strategies, because the financial people, they'll recommend me if it's life insurance after they'll talk to the people, especially the more wealthier people. But I'm one of those, I stay in my lane. Sometimes when people call me and it sounds like it's a legal advice or tax advice or more complicated financial advice, I tell them, baby, I'm about love insurance. I stay in my lane. But one thing I do know a lot of people that I can refer you to.
Okay, that'd be great. That's going to be great. Now, if you are just joining us or you haven't joined us and you're at the end of this podcast, I am talking, of course, this is Finding Your Financial Voice podcast with me, your host, Anita R. Johnson. And I'm talking to Shelia Tyson, who is talking love insurance on here. Okay, she talking about love, giving y'all love, and she loves educating her clients about the noise surrounding the insurance market. And she explains all the products that have been advertised on the television, and we talked about a few of them already. Some that's sent to you in your in your mailbox, and you looking at that stuff thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be good because I can do this because I'm over 65 and I need this and I need that." But she does it simply and straightforward to you. Now, Shelia, as we close, what is maybe 3 things that you can tell somebody out there and of course, we know that sometimes we need to look at the financial situation of a person. Well, what are some of the 3 basic things that you can tell people to look for as they are besides your phone number, all right, that they can look for in an insurance policy?
Well, the type of policy it is, and be sure it's the type of policy you need. Sometimes you hear people, agents especially, arguing about term versus whole life. You have some people call whole life trash cash and all that kind of stuff. And term, you have some people say term is no good. I don't do that. I have my preference, certainly, but it's based on the individual situation. But I always try to end an argument like this. When people say term is better, whole life is better. In my opinion, you want to know what's the best policy?
The one you have.
The one that's going to be enforceable and payable at the time of need. And that doesn't matter if it's a term or a whole life.
Okay.
So when people start, but you should get something. And in my mind, there's a place for some folks need term. They have other whole life or something. They need term just for a business reason, to pay off it's a business or a mortgage protection, and they have other policies. Now, if you come to me and you're over 50, this is just me, and you're over 50 and 60 and you have no policy, and you call me up and you say, I just want a term because I heard that's cheaper, I'm not the agent for you. Let me just be real clear. I'm not that agent. You need to keep shopping.
I love it, Shelia. I absolutely love it.
Because I'm going to put you in something permanent, baby. Because if you're 50 in 10 years, you say you want a 10-year, you're going to be 60. And then, as you get older, the prices go up. Remember, I told you, it's coming for profit.
Right.
And God forbid, your health might change a little bit.
Right. Exactly. Well, thank you, Shelia, for being with us today here on Finding Your Financial Voice podcast. And thank to our listeners for listening. And our mission always is to give sound financial tips that you can implement immediately. And Shelia, leave us with your email address and your phone number where people, or any information where people can find you.
Of course. I give out my cell.
All right.
707-853-6145.
Repeat that again for them.
707-853-6145. You could also find me on Facebook, Shelia L. Tyson.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. And Shelia, definitely thank you for being here today, allowing us to help, for us to get the word out for you, for us to help you find, and remember, financial mindset plus financial knowledge plus financial power equals your financial voice. So thank you so much. Thank you everybody for listening, and I will talk with you next month, same time, same bad channel.